This is the Tokyo Butter 23 Sneaker Channel. Tokyo Butter 23 の Sneaker Channel です。毎日アップするので、毎日見てください。I drop content every single day and I want you guys to check in and see that content. It's all about sneaker information. It's all about sneaker reviews. It's all about upcoming sneaker releases as fast as I possibly can. I definitely keep it under 10 minutes. I try to keep it close to 5 minutes. And if I can do that, you get daily reviews as fast as I can. And that's great for you and it's great for me. Today, we're looking at an absolute cracker of a sneaker. It's innovation, it's technology, it's sneakers. They all crash together to make the Nike Adapt BB. As I said in the introduction, today's sneaker review is all about the upcoming release of the Nike Adapt BB, and the upcoming sneaker reviews are coming thick and fast because tomorrow I'll also be bringing you another review of an upcoming sneaker, which is the Air Force One Racing, and that's a sneaker inspired by racing and speedway, so you definitely don't want to miss out on that cracker of a sneaker. If I had to compare it to anything recent, it would be the SB Dunk Low Pigeons that dropped, which were a phenomenal looking sneaker, and just like them, this racing inspired Air Force One is not to be missed. So make sure you hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so you get that review tomorrow. 明日のレビューはすごい面白いの Air Force One です。ぜひ見てほしいので、登録のバトンをクリックしたり、お知らせのバトンをクリックすると毎日のバトンをミスしないようにお願いします。ぜひ毎日見てください。One of the things I really love about this sneaker review that I'm bringing today is I can be absolutely sure about the release date. Sometimes you can't be sure, and I'm very reluctant to tell you a release date because it sometimes doesn't happen. I mean, it happened with the Yeezy semi-frozen yellows that didn't drop on time. It happened with the off-white Mentas, which have kind of gone into oblivion. They might drop in March, I heard at the latest, but I did a review back in December, and there I am telling you it's going to release it. It hasn't released yet, so I'm reluctant to give you release dates, but this one I can nail down because it's already on the sneakers app right there with the Air Max 720s, which I reviewed this week already, and if it's on the sneakers app you can take it to the bank. So February the 17th is the release date for the Nike Adapt BBs, and they are a phenomenal sneaker. They're designed around the bridge between technology and sneakers, the bridge between apps and footwear, and they've tried to connect those two together, and they might have done a pretty good job. But I have a negative history with Nike and technology, especially two things in particular, and if I rummage in my pockets here I'll pull out one of them, and it's the Nike watch. Now I love this watch. It was a brilliant watch for me and for running. I've run 5 marathons, and this watch ran a few of them with me, and it was great because it was a GPS watch, and it usually did a pretty good job with GPS, although occasionally I would run a 1-minute mile, which anyone will tell you isn't actually true. So little slips in the GPS, but that aside, it was a good watch. But my issue with it was that Nike suddenly stopped supporting updates for it. So now this watch for me, when it filled up its memory and filled up the data inside of it, it became useless because I'd either have to factory reset it, but then it'll fill up again at some time in the future, or buy a new watch which is supported by the latest technology. So I really didn't like that Nike sort of left me hanging. This watch no longer supported by the software update, so my tech and sneaker collaboration there didn't work out very well because I can't really use this anymore. And that leads me on to the next thing, which is similar to the watch and connected to the watch literally as well as figuratively, and that's the chip that sometimes you got inside sneakers with Nike, and that chip was supposed to speak to this watch and give you really good data about where you'd run, how far you'd run, how fast you'd run, those kind of things. And the chip that I had inside of my sneakers broke very quickly and stopped working, so my watch had to rely on satellite data and not chip data from my shoe, and that's what gave me irregular data about how fast I'd been running, how far I'd been running, and the pace I'd been running at. So those two things, the chip in the shoe and this Nike GPS watch, didn't go so well for me when I bridged that gap between sneakers and technology, and I'm a little worried that that's going to be the same thing that happens with this Adapt BB because it is heavy on technology. Most notably, you can see that the sneaker has been designed with technology in mind, and they had a full-on concept about having that sneaker and that technology together. And that is obvious in this picture up here, as you can see from, it's not actually a photograph, it's kind of almost like a blueprint where they're talking about the different elements of the sneaker coming together for performance and for technology. And it's supported by an app. Again, another picture up here, I'll chuck up there. You can see the shoe itself fronted by a smartphone with the app, and that app speaks to the shoe, and it's all about setting the lacing system on the shoe. Now I'll throw another picture up here which shows you the lacing system or lack thereof, because there isn't a lacing system on the outside of the shoe. What there is inside the shoe there is a series of connections, and there may be laces or wires or some kind of system that is powered by a computer chip which speaks to the app. And what you're doing is you're telling the app at exactly how tight you want and how snug you want the shoe to fit to your foot at certain times. And the theory is that, for example, when you're playing a game of basketball and there's a lot of intense pressure on your foot, a lot of changes in directions, a lot of different forces acting on the sneaker, and you want that snug fit, the shoe will in-game, without any support from the app, will in-game naturally hug your foot. But then when you're off on the sidelines relaxing and you don't need that snug fit, the shoe will relax off a little bit. And there's also talk that your foot shape changes throughout a game of basketball, and these things have been designed to transition and adapt, that's why they're called the adapt, to change the size and the fit with your foot while the game's going on. Now, if that's true and if it works, it's a phenomenal step forward in technology, innovation, and sneakers. If a foot and a shoe can adapt together so that while the foot changes shape during a game or during a marathon, for example, if you run a marathon and that's 26 miles or 41 kilometers, of course your foot's going to change shape. It might swell a bit, or alternatively you might sweat out a bit of weight and it might shrink a bit. And if a shoe can adapt to that and change while you're actively doing a sport, that would be phenomenal. I hope it works, and I hope it comes out that way. So let's have a look at the sneaker itself. It's great to know about the technology and what's inside, but what does it look like? And it looks pretty good to me, especially on the lateral side. Having a look at that lateral side here, you can see the swoosh on the side isn't continuous. It gets towards the end and then continues in a series of little dots across the heel. I think that's a cool design feature. I think it looks really good. Closer to the front in the toe box, you can see the fly knit upper pops as well, and it's a really good looking fly knit upper. In sports, you need your upper to be flexible and light, and this fly knit upper certainly is both of those things. And then if we come down a little bit to the midsole, one of the main technology features that's most obvious on the outside is 2 LED lights. Apparently, using the app, you can change these lights color so that they have a different color. I don't know if they flash or if they stay a solid color, or if you can tweak that in the settings of the app, but I do know that you can choose the range of colors in there. And I suppose when they bring out different uppers and have different colors, changing those colors in the LED lights will be a big plus for the sneaker. Then if we flip this guy upside down and have a look at the outsole, that high-tech sort of futuristic feel is continued. As you can see, the outsole is semi-translucent, and there's two places where that looks through from the semi-translucent into the sort of circles of blue there on the outsole, and that's a really good looking feature and a really nice addition to this sneaker. And the final place to look for me is on the medial side, which is one of the few letdowns aesthetically on the shoe, because it does look kind of clunky. There's not really much there. If you look at it, it's a very uniform look. The rest of the sneaker's popping with innovation and little touches and little accents throughout, but the medial side of the sneaker is a bit flat for me and a bit sort of clunky looking. So that aside, though, it is a great looking sneaker. The whole thing taken as a oneer looks really, really good, and the individual parts of it look really, really good too. If they've been able to bridge that gap between technology and sneaker comfort and purpose, like for example playing basketball, this could be a massive step forward in sneaker technology and sneaker comfort and sneaker performance. Well done, Nike, if you've got this to work, because if you have, you're onto a winner for sure. Okay, thanks for checking in today. I really appreciate you coming and seeing me daily. I do drop that daily content, as I continue to tell you. It's hard work. I work full time. I have a 1-year-old daughter, and I drop daily content, but so far I haven't missed a day. The channel's barely 2, maybe 3 months old, and I'm still dropping the daily content, and the subscribe numbers are going up. So hit that subscribe button and keep growing this channel. I'm here every day giving you the content, and you're here every day giving me the views and the subscribes. So let's keep this combination going. Again tomorrow, when I will drop that Air Force One racing review, which is a phenomenal looking sneaker. I look forward to seeing you for sure tomorrow. Thank you for checking in today, guys. I really appreciate your being here and viewing my content. Over here we have the channel subscribe button. Channel登録ぜひお願いします. Over here we have the video I recommend you watch next. こちらはおすすめです. And up here we have a link to the channel introduction video. こちらはチャンネルのプロフィールのビデオです. Check them out. Clicking on them really helps the channel.